There we go. Looks like it's working. Excuse me. Gentlemen, welcome back. We're doing something a little bit different today. We just finished dinner, and I'm not quite done with my project for the night. So I'm gonna show you guys some quick tips on doing some woodworking on the 1903 Springfield. So, not tickling my beard too much. Just moving that. There we go. 3 things you're gonna need. 3 things you don't need, but 3 things that make life a little bit easier. Some sort of, for me, makes it easier. Acetone is a good one. Some sort of oil remover. Acetone, paint thinner, mineral spirits, something like that. Take your spirit, pour it on a rag, wipe the whole thing down, and get all of the grime off from just the top. This one here isn't bad enough for me to want to remove every little bit of dust and grime. These, if I can catch it in the light right, this stock doesn't really look that bad. So the acetone was enough to take that like surface level grime that's on here off, and we're good there. Next thing, this is the secret. And this stuff is kind of hard to get. Well, it's not hard to get once you know what it is, but finding this secret is tough. There you go. This is it. RGL number 4, Mil 1004. Come on back to my face. There we go. Mil 1004. This is the stuff. It's an alcohol-based stain. Yes, it's very small. It goes a long way. I'm halfway through this bottle or so, maybe a little more than half, and I've done multiple stocks, maybe 5 so far. It goes a long way. This replicates the wood, the red look that you get in wood. And so I'll learn you guys something here too. Use a glove, by the way, otherwise it stains your fingies real bad. The reason, for anybody that's new to milsurps and didn't know, the reason why these stocks that we're used to seeing turned red is from oxidation. These stocks during the war, just about every single one of them, from all the countries, got dipped into some sort of oil. Typically it was boiled linseed oil. That was kind of the most common. Then there was also some tung oil and things like that. But boiled linseed oil tends to be the number one. When these stocks would have been first issued to the troops, they would not have looked red like this. They would have just been whatever color of wood. So dark, a nice dark oil finished, not oak, walnut. A nice dark oil finished walnut. That's what the troops would have had. Some of them would have had, like later in the war, I think there was some beech wood, which is lighter colored. It would have been like brand new furniture type of look. The red that we're used to seeing is oxidation. The boiled linseed oil oxidizes and turns this red color, let's see, turns this red color that we're all used to and that we all covet so much. This is the closest approximation in a bottle to this red color. Little tiny bottle goes a long way. Grab a couple of your like larger 9 millimeter 45 cleaning patches. Fold it up a couple times. Get the hair off of it because we don't know where that came from. And then soak it onto the patch. That's all you need is let the patch, like that you can see in front of my face. Let the patch soak up. Take your piece of wood, rub it in, and I'll show you before and after. You can already see that it's taking on the stain. Now, this is an alcohol-based stain, and this is the proper stain for this type. They do have some other stains that you can look into if you're doing, say, British firearms or French firearms from different periods. They do a very good job matching the proper color that those stocks would have been. I've done a ton of stocks using this stain. For Americana, this is the go-to. Get that, a little bit of alcohol, rub it in. Nice, fresh, dark wood like you would have had. Now, this little blob that I have is not done. I could probably go over most of this stock here. I need to quit looking at the screen. I could probably go over most of this stock here with this little bit of alcohol, this little bit of stain. It will take most of this up. Maybe not quite. It looks like it has taken a lot of it. But rub it in, rub it out. You can already see the line right there in the middle. Right there, where there's no stain. Put some stain in here. Rub this in first. Sorry for clicking on the mic. Get this, just one coat usually. Sometimes two if you have, for old milsurps, one usually makes me happy. I don't want to go too much darker than that. Two if you have a new piece of wood. And if it's a very, very light piece of wood, maybe three. But usually I don't want that much stain on my stocks. But no, I didn't mention, this is alcohol-based stain. And you might be going, what is that? What does that mean? Alcohol-based stains penetrate the wood better and penetrate through the oil finishes that are on most of these stocks. So, if you've ever tried rubbing regular old stain into a stock, and it just bounces off the surface, it's because it's oil soaked. Oil soaked and or has some sort of finish on top. This alcohol stain is really good. Sorry, I'm backing up because the stock's getting long. This alcohol stain is really, really good about penetrating super deep even through previous treatments over top of the wood. Not on my pants. But as you can see, just like that, the wood, nice and dark in the proper color. Go through, apply one, maybe two, and if you're really, really crazy, maybe three. I usually think one coating of this stuff usually gets me to where I want to be. Rub this in nice. And again, the nice thing about it being an alcohol stain is it dries really quickly. Let me do a little bit more. We get the top section here finished up. Rub it all in all over your pants, and then buff it out. Use an old rag, buff it back in. You'll notice this is already starting to take on that color that we all covet. Next thing, get yourself an old rag or an old t-shirt. Well, don't just do that. Cap the stuff first so you don't spill it all over your bench, because I've done that many times. Go to Home Depot or Lowe's, whatever you prefer. Pick up boiled linseed oil. Let me get my face hidden so it might try. Never mind. Boiled linseed oil. This stuff, I've had this particular jug for at least 4 years. As long as it doesn't dry out and oxidize, it stays pretty good. Use an old rag when doing this because it will crusty up your rag and will never be used again. These tend to be pretty good rags. I don't like using them for this. This is some older rags that I've had from when I did a purchase of rags. It's like cut up cloth. This is perfect for oiling a stock. Give it a good shake. It does, I don't know if it separates, but I feel like it works better when I shake it up pretty well. Give it a good old wipe on. And you're gonna go through a lot of this. This stuff isn't super expensive, but you will use it. And you'll notice, dry looking. Beautiful looking. Total night and day. Rub it in, rub it off, and you'll notice the difference. Hide my face, hide my face. Oh, it's gonna do. There, the difference between the oiled section and the dry section. It's exactly what you want. Now, boiled linseed oil takes a while to dry. This is one of those that I like to do this time of night. Dinner's done, the baby's getting a bath. I have a little bit of downtime before, we finish out the night. Rub this into a stock, rub off the excess. So don't, there is no real overdoing this. You could technically back in the day, another historical fact, what they would do with stocks is they would have vats of boiling oil and they would just rack all the stocks, drop them into the oil, move them to a drying area and let them cure. So you really technically can't go too heavy on this. When you're doing it by hand, you want to do the whole rub on and rub off type of technique. So rub it on, rub it in, and then let it cure for 12 hours. Let it cure overnight. Come back at it in the morning. Rub another coat of it first thing in the morning when you get up. If you have, if you got 10 minutes of time with your coffee or whatever, rub in another coat. Let it sit up for the rest of the day. Rub in another coat, just like this. And this is one of those things, kind of the more you do it, the better it looks. Take it as far as you feel comfortable. You don't have to go, in the field, when military guys had downtime, this is what they do. They take a bottle of oil, rub in their stock, and sometimes they would do what was called, I don't want to say this on the internet, they would do what's called boning the stock, where they would take a bone or a hard piece of, they didn't have plastic back then, but a hard piece of something, and rub in the stock as they're oiling it. That pushes down the wood fibers and gives it a really nice flat feel and a good sheen. So this is one of those things, stock work to this level, stock like finishing at this level, it's almost fun because you do it and then you let it sit in a corner overnight and you come back to it the next day and it's almost instant gratification. It looks beautiful. The second you start rubbing oil into a stock, look at this. Look how much more beautiful that looks right there. Way better than this dry part up front. Stock work is fun once you get to this level. The secrets are spend the money and get boiled linseed oil. Spend the money and buy that RGL or whatever 1004. This stuff is fantastic. And again, if you have a different make or model or you're looking for something, look at their website. They have a ton of different finishes. As far as I remember, you got to get it through their website. Nobody wholesales it or nobody sells it on like the third-party market. But that's it. That's how you refinish a stock. There are other things you can do technically. If you have a stock that is absolutely crudded up in cosmoline, crud cutter helps, or a really good one for pulling out stain and oil and crap is citrus strip. That stuff is great. Paint it on, wipe it off. It'll take off a whole bunch of stuff. There are other things you can do. There's videos out there showing if you have dents, you can steam dents out. We're not going to do that for this project. It's not worth it. This alone, hopefully y'all can see, just with that, there, yeah. This is one oiling and one coat of stain. Already looks amazing. Now, oil, like I said, does take time. It'll take 12 to 24 hours to fully cure, and then honestly, it takes like a week to fully cure. But just take your time, rub the stain in, rub the oil in, oil up your stock. I will take the other side of this that doesn't have any oil before I'm done here, rub the excess off, let it cure up overnight, and then we'll do a little bit more in the morning. And this is one of those, you can't rush it. Take your time. Do it over a week while you're working on other things, and then forget about it in the corner. Let it cure. Do another day, let it cure. Over and over and over again, and by the end of the week, you will come back to it and look and go, oh my God, that is a beautiful piece of wood. So, there you go. That's how you do very, very simple stock work. The stain is kind of the gunsmith secret. That stuff is fantastic. Buy some. If you are into milsurps, you will find a reason to use a lot of it. I even use it on AK stuff sometimes because I just like the coloring that they put in. It's just awesome. There you go. Next up, we got the gun cleaned up. We have the stock now soon to be oiled. And we have one thing that we're working on. If you saw the last video, or maybe the next video, I'm not sure how this is going to get ordered. The head spacing is a little bit funky, but I have a feeling that I'm going to just roll with it. We will see. We will see what we end up doing. Stay tuned. We got more coming. And it's good to be back to y'all, gents. I will catch y'all on the next one. See ya.